Okay, so our second video on exponential functions, and we're just going to do some variations. We're going to put a number behind it, and the second variation is we're going to have a negative power. So again, remember that the value of a, the base, can never be a negative number. Okay, so copy that and come across and we'll see what the variations look like. Okay, so with the first variation, which is just sticking a number at the back, a constant, it's going to be the same as the first part, and that every point is either moved up a value or down a value depending on what that value is. So in this particular case, we're going to move it up a value of 1. So basically, instead of the asymptote, instead of the asymptote being here, the asymptote is y equals 1, and the asymptote is always that value there. So that's the new floor, so to speak. So you just use your table of values, and then whatever the value of x for 2 to the x is, you just bump it up 1. So this one used to be 2 to the minus 2 was a quarter. So now we've got 1 1/4. This value used to be a half, so now we've got 1 1/2. This one used to be 1, now we've got 2. This one used to be 2, now we've got 3. This one used to be 4, now we've got 5. This one used to be 8, and so now we've got 9. So 2 is 5, 1 is 3. And it is hard to draw the fractions on the other side, but the whole numbers are okay. So this number, it could be a minus number. If it was a minus number, then the floor just drops below. Like if it was minus 5, then the new floor is minus 5, and you just subtract 5 from all your values. So in the next slide, I'll just show you another way of drawing the table, and let's have a look, copy that and come across. Okay, so now, actually, I've jumped straight to minus ones. But so if you're looking at that, if you need some more practice, there'll be some in the book or worksheet. But basically, you just whatever that number is, you add or subtract to your normal one. Okay, coming across. So in this next one, we're looking at negative values. Okay, so we've got bases 2, and we've got a negative power. And so what we're going to find is that the shape of the curve is this blue one. So instead of going up to the right, we go up to the left. And you can easily show that in your calculator. So if you go, again, use your X to the bar button. So if you go 2 to the power of minus, okay, that minus sign is that minus sign, and then you stick a minus 2. Well, you've got 2 minuses make a plus, so 2 to the 2 is 4. So instead of the values being big on the right-hand side, they're big on the left-hand side. And so you end up with the shape going this way. So the values are the same, but they're in the opposite position, so to speak. So as x gets bigger, the function gets smaller. So as x gets bigger, the function is getting smaller. Okay, so you'll note over here, and again, this was one of the ones that one of the girls brought up in class. Like for instance, that is a base, a half. And you can write a 1 on the bottom, okay, where that 1 is, you can put a 1 there, and then a 1 on the bottom is the same as a negative at the top. And so when you have fractional, so when you have fractions, here it is over here. So when you have fractions less than 1, you actually get a negative indice. So when you have fractions less than 1, a half is less than 1, you end up with a negative indice, so the shape will always be going down. So if you've got y equals 1/3 to the x, y equals 1/4 to the x, these ones will always look like the blue function. Okay, I think we've got one more to go. Copy that, come across. So here's another one. So we've got this 1/3 to the x. So this might be appropriate. You don't have to do it this way, but we know that this is a fraction, so we know that this is going to end up being 3 to minus x. Okay. So here's one way of doing it. You don't have to do it this way. So what you can do is you just do your normal 3 to the x, 1/9, 1/3, 1, 3, 9, 27, and then you just reverse it. So 2 would be the -2 answer, 1 is the -1 answer, and then -1 is the 1 answer. You can do it that way if you want. It doesn't, there's no law that says which way to do it. 9, 3, 1, and then after that they get really small quickly. So it's really important that you show the line sort of going closer. What you can't do in your test is sort of have sort of anything upwards. That's no good, because the curve has to get closer to the asymptote, not go bouncing away from it. So you can't show any function going up. Okay, that's the end of that video. Thanks. Bye.